I'm definitely gonna have to cover this one because this chick's from Orange County. Oh my god, even. Oh my god, even. All right, let's go.
I don't know if y'all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken. Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I don't want to watch it, please.
This is the moment detectives confront Sarah Boone with a video she claims to have no memory of recording. In it, just 48 hours prior, she taunts her partner of 3 years, George Torres Jr., and ignores.
Oh my god, 48 hours. Oh my god. 48 hours. Wow.
His pleas for help as he asphyxiates to death inside a suitcase. Forensic evidence indicates George was trapped inside the suitcase for up to 11 hours or more, and at some point was pushed down the stairs while trapped inside.
What's going on? I just got here, so fill me in.
No problem. Like, he and I were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You were putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make...
Look at that. Look at the heart in the... I was mentioning this on one of my other videos about how some of the most evil people put up decorations around their house and bumper stickers and things like that about it says I can't read the whole thing because it's too small, but it's something like believe in love or something like that. This is a really common for super evil people to put this house believes in love, or shit like that, like the this is a love and acceptance house and blah blah blah. They try and create an image for themselves of being like the best people possible, and they are exactly the kinds of people who get into physical violence with their relatives, scream and throw tantrums and all kinds. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see where this goes.
New art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase, okay?
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys.
So
And it's like giving your brother. The problem is.
So she called her ex-husband to come over. Normally, if you have a medical emergency, you're on the phone with 911 until they arrive. So, did she call him before she called 911?
I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning, when I found him.
Before you called?
Yes!
1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband? Or your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where did he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were praying and you did come up and...
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. Stop. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of. But like, I don't, like, this was totally like not intentional.
His age, no real medical history
That I know of.
For him to have passed away, we come out.
I know.
We come out and do an investigation.
The day after her partner's body was discovered, Sarah drives herself to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. She believes she's there to provide detectives Chelsea Connolly and Scott Lowen with background information on her and George's time together. As the interview progresses, the couple's volatility will become clear, At the outset, the detectives follow standard best interrogation practice, positioning Sarah's chair farthest from the door of the interview room.
Right.
This is a technique familiar to those accustomed to police interrogations, which, in theory, blocks the suspect's exit to increase the sensation of feeling trapped.
We were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a hand on him.
Okay. He also had on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on his head and skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
Considered not touched trauma.
When the detectives dive straight into autopsy results, listing George's injuries, Sarah becomes defensive almost immediately. She is quick to interject with,
Yeah, because it sounds like those types of injuries may have also come from an additional, I don't know that could have all just happened from tumbling down the stairs in the suitcase. The cut lip. Because I'm trying to think, would there be something sharp in the suitcase that could potentially cut his lip? I mean, the head trauma potentially could have come from that happening, but I'm curious how this is going to go.
verbal deflections of guilt while raising her hands in the air, as if to demonstrate she has nothing to hide. This interaction foreshadows the rest of the interview, as Sarah becomes increasingly adamant in her efforts to refute any willful involvement in George's death.
Oh, no, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee.
Okay. So she stupidly goes right into, we had some problems.
Or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. I don't know if you talk to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So.
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago, so.
Give or take.
Right. So what do you mean by he comes after you?
He gets belligerently drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures, bloody fingers, split foreheads, he split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad, where I had to go 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it. The man poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's...
Then why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. I do. And I feel like I can help him. I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was. And
Okay, so first of all, she's lying about killing him. But second of all, she's trying to build a case that she was a battered girlfriend. Or, a fiance? I don't remember what she said. I don't think they were married, right? So she's trying to make the case that she was a battered fiance, I think. While at the same time trying to say that she killed him while they were playing hide and seek. Because that's normal for adults to do, right? Is play hide and seek, get in a suitcase, and who zipped it? How'd he get it in a suitcase and it got zipped up? How'd that happen? God, this reminds me of that episode of Punky Brewster where one of the friends gets in they were playing hide and seek, and there was a refrigerator that was going to be disposed of that was in the backyard, and one of them got in and hid in the fridge and ended up having, I don't think they killed her on the show. I think the paramedics had to revive her. But she, there's only limited. These are the old refrigerators. The older refrigerators locked, and you could not, if you got trapped in one, you could not get out. They don't do that with refrigerators anymore because they know that that is actually a safety risk. So now they make it that you can actually push the doors open if you're on the inside of it.
Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I've bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him because I had hope in him.
So why didn't you?
And he was trying.
Why didn't you just break up? If you felt like you were trapped in this relationship with a criminal, why didn't you just break up? There's plenty of Orange County agencies that help women get out of abusive relationships. I'm so confused by this. I know some people feel like they are trapped in a dangerous situation, but there are actual, I'm an activist in Orange County. I know for a fact that there are agencies in Orange County that will help you get out of relationships like that.
He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's like, the next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go, so I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else. Or I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't.
Well, apparently not if you didn't have to wake up until 12:30 on the day that he died, right? He was in that suitcase for 48 hours? Give me a goddamn break.
Know how to, I guess, maintain himself where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So
Notice she did not say, I have to go to work. She said, I have things I need to do. So maybe there is some sort of financial motivation of doing it this way because she potentially was not the breadwinner in this situation.
He would not literally, but have smoke come out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink.
When Sarah lists everything she's done for George, she's positioning herself as the savior figure within the relationship, the omnipotent partner who is the only one capable of rescuing their vulnerable, inept companion. By taking credit for George's adherence to his probation requirements, Sarah implies he could not have succeeded without her. This dynamic is consistent with how a narcissistic person exerts control in a relationship. They stake sole claim over understanding what their partner needs and how to give it to them. The more dangerous evolution of this belief is a narcissistic partner believing they have the right to dole out punishment. By this logic, if Sarah can manifest George's successes, she is entitled to discipline him for his failures. While there is no evidence to suggest Sarah has been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, it's reasonable to assert she does display narcissistic traits during this interview.
Yeah.
A truthful confession is unlikely, no matter how sound the evidence. Instead, the detective's dissection of her story unmasks Sarah as an unreliable narrator. If they are unable to obtain a confession, this footage will still expose Sarah's lies and inconsistencies to a jury.
Well, yesterday you made it sound like
I'm supposed to be going to an event at 11:30, but it's still cold and it's not raining here anymore. But it's still cold and my leg's still in a lot of pain. And the event is in North Orange County, so it'd be a long drive for me. But there's a meet and greet with Betty Yee this morning at 11:30, and I can't. I want to, I want to participate as much as I can, but there are some days that I'm just in too much pain.
Like, you guys were just drinking, like, a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me you told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimentous, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know. So, but you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it...
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time.
While Sarah vehemently disputes Connolly's questions about her alcohol consumption, she only succeeds in backing herself into a corner. It's fair to speculate she denies intoxication out of fear the police will use this against her, a fear that will prove justified. Preoccupied with preserving her image as a mature, long-suffering partner, Sarah fails to notice contradictions that will later come into play as important pieces of the detective's offensive game. Throughout the interview, Sarah alludes to loving George. However, her lack of emotional engagement is evident from her initial 911 call.
Lisa Medical. My boyfriend is dead. You can send a line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
George's autopsy reveals his cause of death as positional asphyxia, which occurs when the position of a person's body interferes with their ability to breathe. It is a relatively rare cause of death characterized by a gradual reduction in consciousness as the amount of air available to the lungs decreases. Tragically, positional asphyxia is a painful, slow, and doubtlessly terrifying what...
Is that what happened? I mean, in a different way, but kind of the same. Is that what happened to, like, George Floyd when he had, 3 or 4 officers with their knees on his back, making it impossible for him to inhale, right? So there was so much pressure on his lungs that he was unable to inhale and exhale. He couldn't, because there was too much weight on him, right? So is this a similar, for anybody who happens to know this shit, any doctors on my list or whatever, is this kind of similar where he's in a position where he can't actually use his lungs because there's too much pressure, or it's just in a place where he can't breathe anymore? Because I think most suitcases are probably made of cloth, right? So there might be some air coming in and out, but maybe not enough. But also, if you lose the ability to breathe in and out because of whatever pressure might be on your lungs. God. And this happened in Orange County. I wonder what city it happened in.
To die.
Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3.
Say goodbye to multiple days.
Ads. God damn. All right.
This is like...
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yes. John, please, hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing it while I'm pumping you, okay?
Okay.
Doesn't sound
Still
like
doing
it.
All right, just continue pumping his chest. Count on a second count with you.
1, 2.
Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me count.
It doesn't sound
Right,
like
okay,
she's
that's fine.
doing
Just, you did a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Okay. Keep on pumping, ma'am. 1,
We were playing hide
2,
and seek.
3.
Bearing bearing in mind the horrific discovery Sarah claims to have made upon waking, it's even more telling how irritated she becomes by the 911 operator. Her tendency to place concern for herself above all else is made even more evident from body cam footage of police's arrival at their home.
I really need something to drink.
Okay, well,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second. Let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
Just give us a second, okay?
May I have my Dr. Pepper? It's on the counter.
I can't remove anything from out of the house.
I'm so thirsty. Like, I'm...
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal
I
with,
need
right? Sit.
May I have some water? Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I need water.
Sarah displays many of the characteristic body language signifiers of stress which are noticeable to even the most casual observer. Physical reactions, such as wringing hands and speaking in a rushed, high-pitched tone, are normal responses to a highly stressful situation. But Sarah barely acknowledges that her partner has just died a painful, terrifying death. Instead, her repeated questions for Dr. Pepper further demonstrate how focused she remains on her own needs.
What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason he passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results. And I will be at the autopsy in the morning. And hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see. They're going to think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them.
While anyone can display strange behavior when in shock, Sarah's preoccupation with how this event will reflect upon her evokes a darker concern. In a relationship eventually characterized by domestic violence, the abuser often employs the tactic of coercive control to isolate, exploit, and control their victim. This is reflected in Sarah's concern regarding what George's parents will be told. As she has no control over how this will unfold, Sarah becomes preoccupied with regaining control through information. For her to maintain her savior facade, it's imperative that what George's parents are told does not contradict her carefully constructed simulation of a loving, supportive partner. While Sarah affects some moments of sadness, her body language and word choices, such as already characterizing George's death as not intentional, are incongruent with shock or grief.
But I don't, this was...
Well, also, I mean, if this was truly an accident and they are, this is an engaged couple, I think is what they established, then wouldn't she want to be the one who contacts his parents? Okay, so she's already established they have a domestically violent relationship. She has established that his parents don't like her. This is, I mean, I don't know how she he's right. I think she probably has narcissistic disorder, because how do you get around all that?
Totally not intentional.
What she appears more concerned with doing here is setting up the early stages of her defense. As the interview progresses, elements of covert narcissism appear in the way Sarah presents herself. When people hear the term narcissist, they might think of pop culture figures such as Walter White, Miranda Priestley, and Cersei Lannister, whose egregious behaviors leave no doubt as to their grandiose view of self above all others. On the surface, while traditional narcissists appear to enjoy high self-esteem, in reality, it is very fragile. In covert narcissism, this fragility manifests through defensive behavior, masking insecurity, as opposed to the inflated sense of self-esteem deflecting criticism.
I have not touched him.
Yeah, seriously, I have worked for some, what did he call it? Incoherent narcissists. I have worked for some people that have this type of personality disorder. And their egos are very fragile. And that's how they select their victims. If there's any challenge to their ability, they're not getting the amount of praise that they want, or they feel that they might be inferior to somebody around them, that's how they select their victims for their torment. But most of these folks are just assholes. They don't actually become killers. You know, as far as I know, they don't actually become killers. They're just assholes. They're difficult to be around, and they're all about themselves.
I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him. It was. You said it was a good day. Like, you guys didn't have any conversations about your relationship. You guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting. No, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say. Did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about like what's going on right now? Got it. I tried to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest, because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt. Right. And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you. Like, I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Without realizing it, Sarah has described the classic relationship wherein a narcissistic person seeks out a codependent partner to fuel their need to feel special and wanted. When she preaches that communication is a huge thing in a relationship, Sarah co-opts the language of healthy partner dynamics to signal her status as the mature, functional adult. A common narcissistic trait is to isolate a partner and make them feel they alone are trustworthy and safe.
Yep.
Four juicy chicken fingers.